Can you talk about the Cascadia rivalry with Vancouver?
Obviously it's an important game. Like I said, the rivalry is part of it, but more so right now is just looking at the standings. They've got 20 points right now. Through 11 games, we've got a couple of games in hand on them. So it's a 6-point swing. So it's an important game for us to go up there and do well.
We talked about travel and fatigue at Columbus. Do you have any concerns with that being the third road match in a row?
No, well, obviously, yesterday was a little bit of a convoluted training day, but today I thought the guys came out and worked really hard today. We'll be off tomorrow, catch our legs and do the work that we need to do on Thursday and be ready for the game. So we'll be all right.
Gonzalo said yesterday that it felt at times like him and Ozzy were just sort of outmanned in the midfield, and Columbus always had more numbers than they did. What were they able to do that made it so difficult in there?
Well, they just pushed their outside backs forward, as I said, and they pushed their their outside midfielders in, and people kept popping up into spaces. It's something that we'll address as a team. It was a little bit that we played too flat in midfield, and I thought, we gave away too much space, and it needed to be a little bit more with the two guys in the middle. One needs to play behind the other guy a little bit more. So Higuain ended up popping up in spaces in behind them, or Merrim sometimes got the ball, or Finley. But when you look at the game totals and touches, Finley touched the ball like 34 times. Merrim touched the ball like 25 times. It wasn't like they were killing us, in there. And we had some good sequences and some good passing sequences as well. But I think we were just flat in terms of our forward defending, and probably didn't put enough of an emphasis, and that rests on my shoulders. As I said after the game, I think tactically I might have gotten it a little bit wrong, and I'll take responsibility for that. So I'll make sure we're better prepared.
And how does that usually work with Gonzalo and Ozzy? Who is the guy that normally drops, and who's the guy that normally pushes a little bit more forward?
They're somewhat interchangeable, and soccer's never absolute. It's never 100% of the time you're here and 100% of the time you're there. But I think the majority of the time we want to see Ozzy playing behind Pineda, and that was something the two of them and I talked about today. So I think we'll be fine.
Did Clint come through okay?
Yeah, Clint came through okay. I did a lot of work in the 4v4. We did a lot of 4v4 work, which is small work and so forth. And, he felt a little bit tight, so we didn't feel any need to, press it.
What changes do you see in Vancouver this year that have made them so much better than they have been in the past?
They got a lot of youth. They got a lot of speed. They've bought into the way they're playing. They've gotten not necessarily younger in the back with the addition of Ka, but they've changed themselves in the back a little bit. So I just think they're a team that relies a lot on their energy. They rely a lot on Morales finding those long, accurate switching balls and through balls, and they're looking to run behind your defense.
Do you see similarities between their style of play and Columbus's? No,
I think Columbus's style is unique. They're the team, as I said before we played them, they're the one team that stays pretty true to how they're trying to play. I think there's similarities in terms of Morales plays a similar role to Higuain, and they try and run you and try and get balls behind you. But so they're also a dangerous team that wants to counterattack, and unlike Columbus, sometimes they'll give up possession to try and get that.
How key is it to get off to a quick start against Vancouver?
It's important to get off to a quick start against every team, Vancouver last year certainly had our number and played well against us, so we've got to turn that around this year. I think we ran in the same situation with Portland a couple of years ago, and I think last year we turned that around, so we'll get it turned around.